Welcome to Bolt Up, Bear Down, where two dudes take their Madden franchise conversation and turn it into something so much more. Here are just some of today's topics, aka the entire episode, because it's been a very slow news week, for lack of a better term. Just a couple of contracts we missed at the end of last week. We're going to revisit those. Our AFC South offseason grades, and then fourth in Dysfunctional, where Brandon tells me a hot take. I don't know it beforehand. And truth be told, it gets some very funny reactions. So, Brandon, let's not cut around too many corners. Let's just get right into it.
Yeah. Shall we start with Kyle Pitts, the greatest what-if tight end of all time?
I mean, we can say what if at this point. However, I think it's starting to prove that all he's needed is a comfortable quarterback. And you know what he hasn't had? A comfortable quarterback. Where the Falcons have been in just this mass amount of disarray where will Penix work out? Will Cousins work out? And that's been the ongoing struggle for the fourth overall pick in the 2021 NFL draft. He signs a 3-year franchise tag extension until 2028. So the 26, 27, and 28 seasons, that is 3 years for those that can't do math. $54 million in this contract, $36 million of it will be guaranteed with an average annual salary of course, $18 million.
That's a lot of money. To be fair, Darnell Washington he's what, 16 mil, I want to say?
Something like
it's
that.
not too far out of the ballpark for tight ends these days. Yeah, it's just a lot of money.
It is. And I think the way I'm looking at this contract is the fact that you're getting a pass catcher who can move the ball. We've seen it before. He knows how to move the chains. It's not that big of a concern when you are as tall as you are and you're making the plays downfield for your quarterback, who unfortunately can never stay on the field. And you're probably going to be rocking with Trevor Siemian by week 9 this year. So Atlanta's just trying to keep their main assets. They already got Drake London re-signed. Now they have Kyle.
Next it'll be Bijan.
That I'm really curious to see that extension next season. That is going to be
It's going to
fun.
be a lot of money. It's going to be a lot of money.
This is going to be one of those like 5 years running back record setting everything under the sun.
Oh, yeah.
It is going to be expensive.
Yeah. Probably record setting. Let's be real. But
yeah, it's 100%.
Back to Kyle Pitts. I mean, he's basically a receiver, and they're paying him wide receiver 3 money these days, wide receiver 2 money. So it's not that bad of a deal.
No, and I think the best way I can also explain this is that we always preach availability is the best ability you can have as a football player. He has not had an injury since 2022 when he messed up his MCL. So you're already looking at that. Cool, you're doing wonderful. Statistically speaking, last year was his most productive year, featuring for almost 88% of the snaps, almost 120 targets, almost 1,000 yards, 5 touchdowns, the most he's had in his NFL career. It was his most productive year by far, and he's been on the field consistently for Atlanta. So to me, the more I look into this, the bigger of a no-brainer this seems.
Oh, 100%. I'm not denying the fact that this extension was a good deal. It's just that the money for tight ends these days seems to be awfully high. That's more so it than anything.
So I do have some more statistics for you, Brandon. They call me Mr. Analytical.
Oh, right. Let's hear it.
This contract is being compared to 4 other tight ends in the league who all signed similar-ish deals to Kyle.
Okay.
Jake Ferguson and Cole Kmet both on 4-year, $50 million deals when they got signed to their extensions.
Okay.
TJ Hawkinson, 4-year, $66. And Trey McBride, 4-year, $76.
Yeah.
So you kind of put this all into a giant blender. He's competing up there with some of the best tight ends. I mean, maybe not in terms of fantasy football, because we all know that's horseshit. But we all know that you watch him, he passes the eye test. So it's fine. And that is why I am very okay with this deal. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. If I had to put a grade on it, I'd give it like a B plus.
Yeah, I'd give it a B. The only name really that stood out of that entire list that you said for overpaid, and I will take hate for this, is Cole Kmet. But that's just because he's not even tight end one in Chicago anymore. But besides that, that's a pretty solid list. Still a good tight end.
Secondary argument. There are two tight ends, two tight end ones in Chicago. It's Kmet and Loveland. With how many two tight end sets he runs, at that point, they might as well both be one.
That's fair. The only thing I'm intrigued about is Stefanski likes his running. So Kyle Pitts is not that much of a blocker. So we'll see how that translates. But I'm sure
secondary thing
figure out
to that. Think about how much they used Njoku and Fannin in Cleveland.
Exactly. That's why I'm not too worried about it. I mean, Njoku and Fannin can block better
this
than
seems
Pitts,
all too good.
but
yeah. It's true. Well,
Brenton
there's another tight end in Florida, or not in the Southeast United States. I think we'll go. I just realized Atlanta wasn't in Florida, but that's okay. I know they're in Georgia. I knew that. Brenton Strange, Jacksonville Jaguars, tight end, 25 years of age, second round pick in 2023, picks up a 3-year, $36 million contract, $6.5 million signing bonus, $25 million guaranteed. I'll be honest, for what he brings to Jacksonville, I almost extremely love this deal.
I love it. He is an underrated tight end. I put him on the same level as like an AJ Barner, where they're severely underrated. Yeah, I give this deal an A plus, flat out. I love it. $12 million a year for starting caliber tight end. This day and age, yeah.
Now, there are how do I put this? There are some concerns I have for the fact that Brenton Strange is getting paid. And I think there's a reason his contract is as low as it is. And that's because of not only snap percentage, but also games played. The only year he has played in every single game is 2024. Played in all 17. Last year missed 5 games due to a hip injury. 2023 was his rookie year. 99% of the time rookies do not get every single game. He only played in over 50% of snaps this past season, 540 yards, 3 touchdowns. So as a pass catcher, I'm not overly moved. But the fact that now you're paying a guy who only features about 50% of the time on the field, in terms of the fact that the Jaguars don't really have a tight end outside of Brenton Strange, I think this is a great deal. But I'm a little concerned at that snap count. If they're really trying to nurse these injuries and just take care of them, Brenton Strange's snap count would have significantly gone up, obviously, if that hip injury did not accrue. However, it also poses a question of, is that going to be a consistent issue down the line? I think that's where Jacksonville kind of factored this in. They said 3 years, $36 million, and Brenton's like, sure, I'll take $12 million a year. That doesn't sound too bad.
I mean, he got over 500 yards on less than 50% of snaps. I think that tells you everything you need to know about how good of a player is when he's on the field. I expect that number is going to rise in the future with him now being paid and Liam Cohn being the absolute freak of nature of a head coach as he is. Yeah, I like this deal. What do you give it?
B. It makes sense for all parties involved, but there's still some hesitancy, at least for me, around Brenton Strange as a whole player.
That's fair. Yeah, no, I guess I'm very high on Brenton Strange for some reason, but yeah. With that, I think we talked about the rest of the AFC East, not East, South. I know my divisions.
Yes, we will get into our AFC South predictions and offseason grades because there were a lot of teams that did well. And I think staying on the topic of Brenton Strange, I'm going to flip. I initially said we're going to start with the Colts. We're going to flip to the Jaguars. Because why not?
Yeah.
Truth be told, their offseason was, it happened. That's about as much as I can say on that. Truth be told, they did more in the undrafted free agency market than they did probably anywhere else in this offseason.
Yeah. that GM is young, and it showed
Yeah.
in this offseason.
The real big notable pickup was Chris Rodriguez Jr. From Washington, 2-year, $10 million deal to replace Trevor Etienne. By the way, not Trevor, Travis Etienne. I've been playing too many Carolina Panthers rebuilds, man. Okay,
Apparently.
too many.
I
Uh,
mean,
that's
he's the
about it.
backup. He's not starting. Tune's getting running back one snaps down there.
That's the expectation. But honest to God, with how Liam Cohen likes to run that offense, who knows?
That's a good point, actually. That's what makes him a genius. Because how is the defense supposed to know what you're doing if you don't know what you're doing? So
You're onto something, Brandon. They should make you a coach.
genius.
Of course. They also did assign absolutely GOAT running back Amir Abdullah, Dane Jackson out of Buffalo, and the Lions offensive lineman Tristan Colon Castillo. They also did re-sign Dennis Gardeck, and that's their free agency, folks. Nothing to write home about. I'll be honest, if this I've said this about a couple teams, and I really mean it about Jacksonville. If they signed absolutely fucking nobody, I don't think my grade would change all that much.
Yeah.
They didn't do a damn thing.
No, they really didn't. They lost ETN. That's basically it. That was their free agency. Is they lost. I wouldn't say they
Yeah.
added. They definitely lost.
They definitely attacked the draft to really focus on depth. And this is where I think the grade definitely gets factored in the most.
Yeah, this draft's weird. It's probably one
There
of the
are
most unique classes in probably the most unique class out of every single NFL team this year.
there are 2 to 3 guys I really like in this draft. One of them, truth be told, completely biasly. You'll understand in a minute when I say his name. Round 2 pick 56 out of Texas A&M, the tight end Nate Boercher. Boerkircher. Boerkircher. Google
Yeah,
cannot save me there.
it makes no sense. With
Round
resetting
3,
stuff.
they had 3 picks, Brandon. Round 3, pick 81, defensive tackle, also out of Texas A&M, Albert Regis. Round 3, pick 88, the guard from my lovely Oregon Ducks, Emmanuel Prignon. And round 3, pick 100, the safety out of Maryland, Jalen Husky. Round 4, pick 119, the edge out of Duke, which is one of 3 players I do enjoy outside of Prignon, Wesley Williams. Round 5, pick 164 for his value, the tight end out of Houston, Tanner Koziel. Round 6, pick 191, the wide receiver out of Baylor, Josh Cameron. Round 6, pick 203, the wide receiver out of Stanford, CJ Williams. And round 7, pick 233, the edge rusher out of Washington, Zach Durfee. Before rounding it out with round 7, pick 240, the linebacker from Middle Tennessee, Parker Hughes. I'll be honest, outside of Regis, Prignon, and Koziel, I didn't know a whole lot about everybody else. But then I did my research on Wesley Williams, and I'm like, he's not too bad.
The only thing I'm confused by is why they took 2 tight ends. And especially with the re-signing of Strange. It
It
does.
definitely looks strange.
Hey, best joke of the series so far. At least for
That's
me.
going to get clipped. Lord. Okay.
Yeah.
I agree the fact that they got 2 tight ends. First off, they used their only second rounder on a tight end. And I mean, truth be told, behind Brenton Strange, you have legitimately nobody. I'm not overly moved by it. I thought I'm like, all right, find a tight end 2 in the second round, I suppose. The third round I actually thought was the best round they had
Yeah.
out of everything.
Oh, yeah, no, I love that
Regis,
third round.
Prignon, and Husky fills holes amongst every single position, especially that defensive tackle where Armstead, if I remember correctly, is on the final year of his contract. So you have a guy that can come in and fill that role almost immediately. So
Well, plus Armstead's
round
also like 80 at this point. So
correct. So the way I'm looking at it is their first 4 picks I'm fine with, but after that, I'll throw Wesley Williams in there. I'll make it 5. It's a definite 50-50 split between solid and okay, I guess.
I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head with saying that it's all about depth. And that's what this class seems. Yeah. No notes. Weird.
Weird,
That's probably it.
very weird. Um, we also do have to factor in the fact that Travis Hunter will be back for the start of the season, meaning that wide receiver room will consist of BTJ, Brian Thomas Jr., which, truth be told, I think he should have been traded in the offseason, but that didn't happen just yet. Jacoby
Yeah.
Myers, Parker Washington, and Travis Hunter as the main four, and then it's just all a bunch of dudes after that.
Yeah, you don't really need any outside of those four of those thing.
You
That's a
really don't.
solid four.
Taking a look at offensive line depth, I know there was a lot of injuries last year. They did have to reconfigure a handful of things, and I think they did a really good job of that. So bringing in Pregnon to just purely assist with guard depth, I think was outstanding.
D-
Otherwise, it's depth all across the board.
Yeah. Dare I say Pregnon is probably the best pick that they made in this draft?
Yeah,
I
fully
mean,
agree.
the fact they got him in the third round seems pretty good.
He was a projected second rounder at that. So the fact
Yeah.
he fell into the third, great value for Jacksonville. Now, I was initially saying I would not be shocked if he starts week one, specifically over Patrick McCarry.
No.
I don't think that's going to happen anymore, especially since he's more of a left guard. I don't think he starts over Ezra Cleveland, at least right now, unless he absolutely shits the bed. And everything that can go wrong for Ezra does go wrong.
Yeah. I mean,
So
Ezra is a
if
pretty
anything,
solid player, so I doubt that.
he's not going anywhere. So overall, solid draft. But what about their undrafted free agency? This is where I actually have a lot of questions. If
All
I'm,
right.
they had 17 players in this
All right.
undrafted
I'm
free
gonna
agency.
go take a nap real quick. Let me know when you're done.
Oh no, I'm only going to name two guys.
Okay.
But they paid everybody except one dude in guaranteed money, which was really interesting.
Wait,
They
what?
paid over half the class more than $200,000 to sign these contracts.
Okay.
It was very strange. I was like, "What?" Okay, sure.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
do you remember who the quarterback was for the Tennessee Volunteers last season? I'm gonna make you think.
Bro, you're testing my SEC ball knowledge? I don't know.
Joey Aguilar.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. App State legend.
He is a Jacksonville Jaguar. He is QB4 on this roster.
He's
Jamari
practice squad.
Taylor out of Virginia, Brian Thomas Jr. Fun fact, there's now two of them now, except this one plays defense, so we should be fine. The 21-year-old out of South Carolina, I actually really love that pickup. And then the other one I'm actually very excited for is Devin Neal, also out of Virginia. He's a safety, and they always need safety help because for whatever ungodly reason, the safety gods do not like them down there. So,
No. Well, and they also
truth be
lost
told,
Wingard.
yes, they did lose Andrew Wingard, and that is
Almost
a
said Wingard.
loss.
Yeah.
Um, but this was just a weird, very weird free agency.
Yeah. Their offseason was strange. And I think that is a common consensus among everybody. Definitely not the best of off seasons. Um, yeah, I'm not too pleased. If I was a Jacksonville fan, I would not be too happy with this offseason.
Mm-mm. I would be largely unmoved. But Brandon, as always, we like giving grades A through F. A being well the best, F being well, damn you suck.
C minus, D plus.
I'm kind of sitting around the same. Hey, I'll say D plus, you say C minus, and we'll call it square.
That works.
Because largely underwhelming, and you lose ETN.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, ETN wasn't doing the best in Jacksonville, so I don't think it's as big of a loss as what people think.
No, it's not. However, you're still losing a guy who can be a starting running back for you and was your starting running back. However, as a great friend of ours, Caleb, has once said, fuck Bashal Tootin for getting all those goal line touchdowns. Uh, if you can't do the figurative math on that, he had Travis Etienne the entire season in terms of
Yeah.
fantasy, and Bashal Tootin got all the touchdowns. So
Yeah, it's kind of like similar situation to Kenny in Seattle, except uh ETN is not as good as Kenny. Just saying. Yeah. I think Tune to thrive down there. I'm also in love with him in Madden, so there's that.
Yeah, you most definitely are, my man. But
Oh yeah.
let's switch over to a team that needs a little bit of love, especially after their outstanding start last year. Jonathan Taylor being the best running back in the league. I'm not afraid to say it within those first 8 weeks. And then for
Oh
whatever reason, somebody sneezed, everybody got sick, everybody got the injury bug, and they sucked the rest of the year.
yeah. If you would have told me that when after the absolute thrashing that they put on my Chargers that they were gonna miss the playoffs, I would have called you insane. Like flat out.
If there's a
That they were gonna start Philip Rivers at quarterback. I would have called you nuts.
I
Um,
have I have an acquaintance, and I say acquaintance because he and I, had a couple classes together in college, knew each other via other friends. Big Colts fan. And let me tell you, when he messaged me because I was posting the Colts, I'm like, "What are they doing?" His exact words were, "I have given up all hope on the season," and this is after Daniel Jones got injured.
yeah.
Like, gave up all hope,
Oh yeah,
and for a damn good reason. Because oh lordy, that was
yeah.
bad.
No, I have a friend that's a Colts fan, and he was doing the exact same thing.
Well,
Uh,
let's get into their free agency class because I don't hate it. They added,
did they?
subtracted a little bit, but they added. They added. Got a pair of new edge rushers, Arden Key and Michael Clemens. Got Nick Westbrook Akine, Derek Nanati, Jerry Tillery, Juan A. Thomas, Cam Taylor Britt, which I love that for them.
That is
Big
solid.
fan of that. Jonathan Owens, shout out. They have an actual super fan now. Easton Stick and Akeem Davis Gaither while re-signing the following: Cameron Mitchell, Luke Tenuta, Laquan Treadwell, Andrew Ogletree, Mo Alley Cox, and then the big one, the biggest offseason contract we have seen, Alec Pierce.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't like this offseason by them.
Explain.
um, Easton Stick sucks.
He's a backup. We all
Still,
know he's not going to do a damn
he
thing.
should not be a backup in the league. I'm just gonna flat out put it this way. Having to
Somebody's got
watch
to
him
be
on the
QB3.
Chargers, he sucks. Like flat out, he's just terrible. Um, when Westbrook Akine is one of your notable free agents for in this class, that tells you everything you need to know. They lost Michael Pittman. To be fair, I think it was a trade, but still, they lost Michael Pittman, who does more than you think for that Colts receiving room. I'm not moved by this offseason, if I'm being honest. Do we want to talk draft? Because well, they didn't take a first round pick this year because of a amazing trade that they made for Sauce.
Correct. Before I jump into that, really love the Cam Taylor Britt pickup.
That's
1 year,
fire.
1.4, loved it. The Alec Pierce contract, the more I've looked into it, the more it made sense. However, there is a potential fact that he may not be ready for week 1 of the NFL season. And that is
What?
the,
No, he's just
yeah, that
missing training camp. He's supposed to be
he's
ready
missing training,
by
supposed to be. Some other
2025.
things came out that there's a chance he might even miss the first couple weeks of preseason, which,
Oh, yeah, no. He'll be fine.
yikes, he'll be fine. Um, Other than that, yeah, I agree. The draft, they took a first rounder in the second round. I'll say it right now. Say it with my chest. CJ Allen, round 2 pick 53 out of Georgia, the linebacker. I love it. Love it.
Oh yeah.
I love it. Round 3 pick 78, safety out of LSU, AJ Halsey. Round 4 pick 113, the guard out of Kentucky, Jalen Farmer. Fair warning, I'm going to butcher this dude's last name because even as an Oregon fan, I still can't get it right. Round 4, pick 135, the linebacker out of Oregon, the former baseball player, Bryce Bocher. I think that's how you say it. Bocher or Botcher, it's one of the two. Round 5, pick 156, the edge rusher out of Florida, George Gums Jr. Round 6, pick 214, the edge rusher out of Ohio State, Caden Curry. Round 7, pick 237, the running back out of Kentucky, Seth McGowan. And round 7, pick 254, the wide receiver out of Oklahoma, Dion Burks.
I really like that round 7 pick. Deion Burks is a dog.
Mm-hmm.
Whether he actually pans out in the league, we'll find out. But I'm a big fan. That's a pretty underrated draft pick. Getting him in the 7th, yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, dude. This is just a very underrated draft. This one got overlooked by a lot of
Yep,
people,
it's
and
solid.
I know a lot of people were factoring in the fact that you lose Michael Pittman, you can't guarantee your health at quarterback with Danny Dimes. A lot of money was spent, but I'm gonna focus on the draft here. I loved it. I really loved it.
Yeah, you factor in the fact that they didn't have a first round pick. Yeah, this was a fantastic draft by them. Um, it's not weird either. It's not a Jacksonville draft. They actually, knew what their holes were and attacked them.
Hmm.
Yeah, I like it for the Colts.
I'm not jumping on that, Brendan. I know what you're trying. I'm not jumping on it. Mm-mm.
Yeah, no, I realized after I said what I said. Yeah. Anyways,
So this whole offseason was spent purely rebuilding that defense. They did lose a
yep.
lot of pieces, not only in that secondary. Don't forget to mention Zaire Franklin, regardless of how hit or miss he can be, for lack of a better term. This defense upgraded big time.
Yeah.
The entire linebacking room gutted and rebuilt, not only through the draft, but free agency. The defensive line depth across the board was the name of the game. And the secondary, outside of the nickel back, very solid. Garner, Halsey, Bynum, Charvarius Ward as your main four, with Cam Taylor Britt, Makai Blackman also as backups with Jonathan Owens. That secondary looks immediately a lot better.
Oh yeah. It's just, can they stay healthy? I think that's the big question mark surrounding the Colts.
I mean, you've
I
got
feel like,
24-year-old Sauce Gardner now. You already got a year back. You might as well run it back.
yeah, I mean, I feel like we say this for every single team if they stay healthy. Uh, yeah, I like it. It's a very, very underrated offseason by them.
They did get a couple UDFAs. I wouldn't say anybody that goes crazy, but I will say West Weeks was in the headlines for LSU for all of the wrong reasons. I kind of felt bad for him. So the Colts took a jump on him. 23-year-old linebacker, sure, depth.
Um,
Nolan Rucci, the tackle out of Penn State. And then edge rusher, also out of Virginia, Mitchell Melton.
what was Weeks do?
Uh,
Oh yeah,
let me tell you, I feel bad for the kid because it's not his fault. Um,
unfortunately.
do you remember the whole drama with LSU in just the smack dab middle of the season? Everybody was talking about it. I'm gonna let your brain kind of rack itself here
What,
because this was like ginormous news.
him dating Luke Kiffin's daughter?
Yep.
Okay.
And then Lane Kiffin moves to LSU, and all of a sudden West Weeks is like, "Peace, guys, I'm out. I don't want to be around this shit." Um,
Understandable.
I felt bad for the kid, but that was funny. That was funnier than hell.
Oh yeah.
So he is now a Colt as of right now, but
Oh,
the
is
only
he a
other
single
notable
man?
free agents,
Is that
yeah,
what the news
the
is?
only what's up?
Is he a single man now?
Nope,
Oh,
not as of right now. He's a
okay.
Colt
So
now.
that's all
He's,
the news. Okay.
yeah, that's
Sorry, I
about it.
thought something interesting
The
happened.
only other notable free agent, at least this is to Bears fans, the son to Olin Kreutz. His son Josh is now also in Indianapolis Colts, although soon to be a Hammond Bear, as we all know. So we'll see if and when that does happen.
You really think they're
Uh,
moving Hammond?
dude, at this point, I'm just kind of buying into it just until I know more because
They're not going to Hammond. I'm
I'm
just
trying to convince
yeah,
myself, man.
they're not.
Trying
You're
to convince
fine.
myself.
You're fine.
All right.
Anyways.
Um, I got to think of a grade for this. If I'm allowed to like subdivide it, the draft itself gets an A for me. I thought this was a great draft.
Yeah. I mean it
Everything else,
factors in.
everything else drags it down. I'm gonna go like a B.
Okay. I was thinking B plus.
I'm gonna go B.
For the draft alone, I'm thinking B plus. Plus West Weeks, I kind of forgot about him, but that dude is a dog at linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they lost Zaire Franklin, but they might have just found an undrafted replacement. I'm just saying.
They got CJ Allen.
That's also true. That linebacking room actually all of a sudden looks pretty good. Young now. They
young.
flipped from being ancient to being quite young. Um, yeah, big fan.
So you're gonna go B plus. I'll go B. That works for me.
All right.
Let's switch into the one
Texans.
team that I want to talk about so desperately badly because desperately bad whatever. English is not my first language today, apparently.
No, it never is. Texans.
Correct. Yep,
Uh, I'll let you. You could start. You got more words than me.
correct. They are still my AFC favorite for the Super Bowl this year, folks. I'm gonna just come out and say it right now. Yep, there's Brandon. Yep, they're still my AFC favorite.
I'm
Let me
supposed to be
explain.
the one with the takes.
I have full belief in that defense, man. I have
What?
full damn belief in that defense because they didn't lose much. They re-signed Daniil Hunter. They gave Will Anderson a stupid contract. The defense didn't get touched. And last year it was a top 5 defense.
I would say
If
it's the
that
best
defense didn't get
defense.
touched, that's arguably my point though.
Yeah.
The defense didn't get touched. It was a matter of getting the offense up to scratch. Now, in free agency, they didn't exactly do that. Truth be told, they didn't really touch it. They added some depth here. They added to the offensive line, which they desperately needed to do. Sure, that works. Logan Hall, Reed Blankenship, Foster Moreau, Braden Smith, Wyatt Teller, Dominique Robinson, Jake Hummel, and Evan Brown were all of the free agency pickups, over 75% of which are on multiple year contracts. So pieces here, pieces there, getting everybody ready to go for a potential run. In terms of the draft, this is where I think they just said, we're fixing the offensive line all in one go. Keelan Rutledge, first round pick 26 out of Georgia Tech. Defensive tackle in round 2, pick 36, Ohio State Caden McDonald, which how they got away with this is beyond me.
They didn't need another defensive lineman. That's all I'm gonna say.
They didn't, but they got another one. And you know what he's probably going to end up doing? I hate to say it, Brandon. He's probably going to end up starting.
Oh,
I hate to break it to
probably.
everybody.
Caden McDonald's a dog.
Correct. Round 2, pick 59, the tight end out of Michigan, trying to replicate Mr. Colston level in success, Marlon Klein. Round 4, pick 106, the guard out of Oklahoma. Again, I apologize for the mispronunciations. Fabici Nawawu, 100% butchered that.
Nah, that's definitely correct.
If I'm going to send you this name later and you're going to be like, what are you trying to say? Round 4, pick 123, the linebacker out of Clemson, Wade Woodaz. Round 5, pick 141, which is another underrated pick in my honest to God opinion, Kamari Ramsey, the safety out of USC. Round 6, pick 204, the wide receiver out of Boston College, Lewis Bond. And then round 7, pick 243, the linebacker out of Indiana, Aiden Fisher.
Good. Solid. Very good.
Very solid.
I think the only pick that doesn't make sense, mainly because they're so loaded at the position, Caden McDonald. But even still, bro's a dog. I'm not mad at it. Yeah, I don't have too many words on the Texans. It seems like you have a ton if you think they're going to be Super Bowl favorites out of the AFC.
I said what I said, man. I
I,
said what I said.
you're forgetting one thing. Their quarterback,
GG. I was gonna say
CJ
GG Stroud.
Stroud. Just saying.
Part of me wants
Just
to blame him for that, and deservedly so, because whatever he was seeing, somebody had put cataracts in his eyes and could not see a damn thing.
yeah.
I will openly say that now, and that is openly the biggest question mark. But you look at every single part of this team otherwise. I think there might be enough playmakers in there that they might be able to get over the line, and for me, I'm hedging my hopes on that.
This seems like a very similar situation to the Browns. I'm just gonna put it that way. CJ
I
Stroud
think that
sucks.
I
He's
think
terrible.
the Texans are in a significantly better spot than the Browns, but
I mean, yeah, I don't disagree, but I'm talking quarterback situation where they are a quarterback away from being Super Bowl contenders. CJ
you're telling
Stroud,
me
unless he
Davis
turns
Mills
the corner,
can't do it?
Unironically, I think Mills is a better quarterback than
And there
CJ
you go,
Stroud.
fourth and dysfunctional right there, folks.
Flat out, like, well, CJ Stroud sucks. Like, I don't know. He's actively losing the Texans games, which as a quarterback is something you should not be doing. So I'm not a fan.
I mean,
Yeah,
hey, I see the point because you and I have both watched Stroud now for a couple of years, and we're both feeling very similarly that Stroud is missing something. I don't know
unless he
what
can
whether that.
turn a corner, there's no way they're Super Bowl contenders. They
That's
are
why
playoff
on
contenders, don't get me wrong, but not Super.
they are my Super Bowl contender. That is just my personal opinion. Just like the Rams are my Super Bowls in the NFC, my AFC is the
So
Houston.
you think we're getting a Rams Texans Super Bowl?
I think it'd be fun. I think it'd
I'm
be a lot
not
of fun.
disagreeing. It would be fun. It would be a defensive bloodbath.
Oh yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
it would be a fun
That's why I think
game.
it'd be fun.
It would be a very fun game, especially if Aaron Donald comes out of retirement too.
Don't
Um,
don't put that thought in my head. That's dirty.
it
That's
would be a
dirty.
very fun game to watch, but I don't see it happening. Yeah, I give their offseason a solid B plus.
Hmm.
Actually,
I haven't even mentioned the undrafted free agents, and honestly, there's only two guys to really write home about: offensive tackle out of Iowa State, James Neal III, and wide receiver out of Incarnate Ward, Jalen Walthall, or sorry, Walthall. Very underrated for Incarnate Ward. I would throw Noah Whittington in there, but truth be told, watching him for 2 seasons, I wasn't like, wow. Anyways, that was not impressed. And they picked up a bunch of other wonderful, wonderful dudes.
that offensive line will get significantly better with White Teller there, and
That is why.
I forgot who's their first round pick. Kalen Rutledge.
So, he'll be the starting center. That has been confirmed. Not really super shocked. Ed Ingram and Wyatt Teller to complete the interior. Braden Smith and Ariante Essery to complete the tackles.
Yeah, the only question mark I have there is right tackle, but Braden
Braden
Smith
Smith,
is
really?
sorry, left tackle. I was thinking Braden Smith was
Or straight? Yeah, that's fair. Completely
uh,
fair.
Smith is a dog. Yeah, that O line will be significantly better. So if CJ Stroud can't do it this year, he can't do it flat out. Like,
I will agree with that statement. If he can't do this year, I will agree with that because
yeah,
the Texans have given him everything they possibly can within financial reason
yeah,
to go ahead and make this team work.
yeah. I mean,
Um,
if they don't get it now, CJ Stroud probably gonna get traded, and they find another quarterback.
New York Jets, you're our friends.
I was gonna say 2027, decent quarterback class. You never know.
Do the Texans have a first round pick? That is my question.
Why would they not?
Do the Houston Texans have a first rounder
I
in
don't know
2020?
what trade they did that would have taken it away.
For all you know, they could have just done it and went under the radar.
That's fine.
But they do have a first through fourth, a sixth, and a seventh next year.
Okay.
So we'll see if that ultimately doubles or adds, multiplies, whatever.
Yeah.
Or maybe they trade that first to try to get, Justin Fields or something when he inevitably throws 4,000 yards and Mahomes is benched. I mean, I'm sipping that Kool-Aid for all the Bears fans out there for him to prove us all wrong.
Honestly, Justin Fields on the Texans would be very fun to watch. I'm just saying.
It would
I'm
be a
still a
lot of fun.
Justin Fields believer.
I haven't given my grade yet. I'm gonna go A minus. I'm gonna stick it. I'm gonna go A minus.
Honestly, understandable. I think really the only thing holding back this Texans team is Stroud. But
Yeah, that's hard to argue. But let's get into the final AFC South team, the one that did not forget that free agency was alive. I will say that right now.
yeah, not to mention
Oh,
coaching changes. The bald
they
squad is here to stay.
this has the potential of being one of the most interesting off seasons, purely for not only how many players they brought in, but how they targeted the draft, how they hit undrafted free agency, how they hit the coaching staff. a lot happened, and they
Yes.
made sure it was known.
Oh, yeah.
Brandon, would you like to talk about the bald squad first?
Robert Saleh, Brian Dable, and oh, crap, who's their DC? I forgot. But that's all you need to know. Robert Saleh and Brian Dable on the same team. Um, Brian Dable's gonna have that offense humming. Robert Saleh is a defensive genius. That defense will be solid. I love this. I love this coaching tree.
This has potential to be a very, very, very solid tree. Gus Bradley is the defensive coordinator,
Who's also good.
and who's also bald. That
Yeah.
I should note. How many bald people do we have on this? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll count Greg Lewis as a half, so 4.5, 5.5, 6.5, 7.5, 8.5, 9.5, 10, because Tanzel Smart's kind of on the border. Yeah, it's almost a 50% bald coaching staff, and I'm for it.
Yeah. I love it. The bald squad got people rooting for them.
They got something rooting for them. I just don't know if it'll be how many wins they put up on the board. But let's go through their free agency. I'm just gonna say, give me a moment. 'Cause this is gonna take me about 2 minutes. I'm gonna go from the bottom and work my way up. Michael Carter, KJ Osborne, Mitchell Trubisky, Mohamed Diabate, John Franklin Myers, Tommy Townsend, Joshua Williams, Malik Herring, Andre James, Austin Deckles, Alante Taylor, Wandale Robinson, Cordell Flott, Daniel Bellinger, Austin Schlottman, Hendon Hooker, Tony Adams, Kylan Granson, Jordan Elliott, and Jake Martin, while re-signing the following: Jarek Reed II, Julius Chestnut, Morgan Cox, and Joey Slott.
Did you say Wandale?
I did say Wandale Robinson.
Sorry, I missed it in the 400 other names you were saying. Um,
Correct. The Titans quite literally said, "Team trash, everybody in."
basically, I mean, they had the
No,
money, might as well.
no other way to put it. They had the most cap space going into this offseason, and they made sure to spend it.
Yeah.
And to think they still have about 60 million left to work with.
Yeah. I like this offseason so far. Yeah, I'll wait till after you say draft grades or draft before I give my grade.
Truth be told, there are a couple guys in free agency I actually really liked the pickups of. Tony Adams was one, just 1 year free safety edition, helps the secondary. Wandale Robinson, they needed a receiver because, dear Lord. Daniel Bellinger's a solid tight end. Alante Taylor, great corner. John Franklin Myers was fantastic last year for Denver, so this is an excellent pickup to partner Jeffrey Simmons. Mitchell Trubisky is on the honest to God goat out of UNC outside of Michael Jordan, so all is good in the hood. This was just a really fun free agency, and the Titans quite literally said, "I want you and you and you." It's like they're at a candy store and they're just picking guys out because they can. It was fun to watch.
It's literally like, they just took everything and like mine now.
Basically what they did. But let's get into the draft where they went young, the oldest player being a fifth rounder out of Arkansas. But they started off the draft getting some outstanding players. Round 1, pick 4, not in a surprise, but also a little surprising at the same time. Carnell Tate out of Ohio State, the wide receiver. Round 1, pick 31, trading back into the first round, which again, a little surprising. The edge rusher out of Auburn, Keldrick Folk. Round 2, pick 60, the linebacker out of Texas, Anthony Hill Jr., before skipping rounds 3 and 4, before coming back in round 5. Pick 142, the guard out of Arkansas, Fernando Carmona. Round 5, pick 165, the running back out of Penn State, Nicholas Singleton, which I like it. Round 6, pick 184, Jackie Marshall, the defensive tackle out of Baylor. Round 6, pick 194, the center out of Indiana, Pat Coogan. And round 7, pick 225, the tight end out of Oklahoma, Jaron Kanak.
I kind of want to save my grade for the end.
Okay. I mean, I still got undrafted free agency I can go through. There's still plenty more.
Okay. Because I think my grade might shock you.
Now you're confusing me. I'm going to mention this name first purely because D3 bias, if you can't tell. We're in the North Central shirt today. Tyron Montgomery out of John Carroll. Let's go. D3 represent. Let's go. The 24-year-old jumping in, making a bag. Great for him. It sucks that North Central absolutely bodied his ass outside of the fact he scored a touchdown in the playoff game. But, we still, I think, hung 5 touchdowns on him. So suck it. Bishop Fitzgerald, the safety out of Southern California, or USC. And then Hank Beatty, the receiver out of Illinois, actually was the most intriguing option out of the bunch. So Titans had a free agency and an offseason of all time. They dumped all of the people on their roster. Well, not all of them, but about 60% of them, and basically brought back in a whole new team.
All right. Yeah, I love this offseason by them, like flat out.
Okay.
Coaching staff is phenomenal. Um, yeah, they dropped a bag literally on this offseason. I gave them an A.
Do you want me to be surprised? Or
No, the only issue is running back. Tony Pollard is getting up there in age, and yeah, Nick Singleton is. I'm curious, but I don't think he'll be a starter. Um,
RB3 as of right now?
yeah, it's basically that running back room. Their wide receiver room went from abysmal to actually pretty underrated with Calvin Ridley, Wandale, and Carnell Tate. It's a pretty good trio. I'm not gonna lie.
And that's not to mention even a couple of their backups. Io Manor and DK.
Yeah,
Solid. Not, maybe starting status, but
still
if they
solid.
need to step in, they could be good. The tight end position got fixed with Gunnar Helm and Daniel Bellinger.
They
The
did
offensive
lose
line,
Chig though, which
they did
does
lose
hurt.
Chig, but I think Bellinger and Helm will be fine.
Yeah,
The offensive line, they paid out the nose for a lot of these guys. Center is still very much a question mark. I don't know if that's going to be good. Otherwise, I think the line is solid. I wouldn't say it's crazy. It's not, the Bears. It's not the Rams. It's
dare say it's not the
nothing.
Chargers when healthy.
Sure,
When healthy.
sure,
When
sure.
healthy.
Um, the offensive line, I don't think moved too much of a needle, but it definitely took a step in a direction that is not down. The defense, serious improvements were needed. Depth was also needed because those guys could not stay on the field for the life of them. I think they added to that defensive line that was sorely needed. They did what they could. I think this is probably the best this team's going to be for right now until we talk about next season. Might make a trade. I would say if anybody, it'd probably be a secondary player, probably a corner, because truth be told, that combination of Alante Taylor and Cordell Flott does not exactly inspire me, to say the least. But that and running back, at least waiting to figure out if Tony Pollard, Tajay Spears, Nicholas Singleton, or Michael Carter will get any reps or how that order is going to work out. It's just those two that I really have question marks on is corner and running back. Everything else
Yeah.
is workable, I think, for lack of a better term.
This offensive line is significantly better than what Brian Dable had to work with in New York. That's all I'm gonna
True.
say. Significantly better. I'm really excited about the Titans this year. They might be a
They're,
sneaky playoff contender.
I don't know if I agree with that. They will definitely win more than how many wins they had. What, 4 or 5 last year?
Yeah, something like
They'll have more than that. Unfortunately, I think the AFC South is just really tough this year. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Jacksonville is a team to watch. The Texans, we would just talk about them, very good. If Daniel Jones can return to any sort of form that he had in the first half of last season, that's a team to watch.
yeah.
That's the truth. So I don't know, man. I can tell you the first half of the year is a lot easier than the back half of the year for the Titans.
Yeah. I don't know. That's the problem with the AFC this year is a lot of teams are really good. It's potential any of these teams make it and any of these teams
It's
don't.
true.
Um,
Very, very true. Except the Jets. Sorry, Jets fans.
yeah.
Um,
couple exceptions, but for the most part. I think what we counted last week, over 10 AFC teams are in playoff contention this year.
10 to 11, I think.
Yeah, which is absurd. um, yeah, that
Yeah.
goes to show you how deep the AFC is. Yeah, I'm
So you said A. I don't disagree, truth be told. The draft was great. The undrafted free agency, biasly, was very good. Unbiasedly, solid. Free agency, they just went nuts. And I think that was needed. They needed a full team reset. I'm going to go A minus. I
That's
still
fair.
think, like I said, you're missing. You still don't know who running back one is. Now, the expectation is it will be Tony Pollard, and reasonably so.
I mean, he was a 1,000-yard rusher last year,
Correct.
so
My only real hesitation is that corner room. Will Cordell Flott and Alontae Taylor be enough? I don't think so.
all right, that's
That's the
fair.
only thing that drags the grade down from an A to an A minus, is that I don't trust that corner room in the slightest.
That's fair. All right, are we ready to go to your favorite section?
Dude, it's the only reason I wake up every morning and say I want to do this. So, fourth and dysfunctional, baby. Again, folks, Brandon comes up with all these hot takes. I don't know them beforehand, and that's what makes this segment very fun. So, Brandon, take it away, big dog.
Tennessee finishes as the top team in the AFC South.
Wow, I should have expected that. I should have expected that.
You should have. With how much I was hyping him up.
Okay. Problem number one here, buddy. The Houston Texans defense exists. That's problem number one. I legitimately don't think many people are getting past that defense, which is why I think the Texans will find a way to win games. If you look at last year, they weren't blowing teams out. They were winning because their defense was fucking absurd. That secondary, disgusting. That defensive line, disgusting. The linebacker room, disgusting.
Counterpoint. CJ Stroud.
I literally just said why they weren't blowing games out.
Yeah.
The offense was not doing their job.
Yeah.
And that's not saying, a lot of those guys are very good. Nico, solid. That entire wide receiver room is good. I hate to break it to everybody. Running back, Woody Marks and now David Montgomery, lowered. The tight end room, Dalton Schultz.
He's
Anyways,
good.
Serviceable. They probably could upgrade, but serviceable. I just don't think they get past that Texans defense. I think that will be the big test for everybody in the AFC South of when you're attacking this Texans team. Sure, your defense can stop CJ Stroud, but can you get past theirs? I don't see that happening. But otherwise, I don't fully disagree. I think there's a chance. I just don't think it's realistic.
So I think the Titans will split with the Texans. Yeah. I think they somehow managed to get some miracle win against the Texans. And Cam Ward proves he's a top 10 quarterback this year. With Brian Dable as OC and that wide receiving room massively improved. Yeah, I'm a big fan, as you can tell, of the Titans this year. I also think there's going to be 2 to 3 teams out of the AFC South that make the playoffs. Like, don't get me wrong.
Who's the one you're leaving out then?
Colts.
Okay. I see it.
Jacksonville.
I see it.
Fantastic. That offense is brutal.
Defense is a little concerning, but otherwise they'll find a way.
I mean, it's the exact same thing as like the Texans, whereas just flipped. Yeah.
So I have the Southern Division winner odds. This is according to FanDuel, folks. Now, obviously, if you are sports betting, please bet responsibly. But I do have the odds pulled up. Would you like to know what the Tennessee Titans are currently sitting at?
To win the South? Probably like plus 3,000.
Not that high. Plus 850.
I'm about to bet $10.
Colts at plus 370, Jags at plus 195, and the Texans at plus 135. So it's definitely going to be a contested division.
Yeah.
It's nowhere near as close as some of the others, like the NFC East, for example, very tight. The NFC North even closer. The AFC South is the most congested. It goes from the low end being plus 200 to the high end, or sorry, the high end being plus 200, the low end being plus 320. That one, anybody could win. The NFC West, if you're a big Cardinals fan, plus 3,000 doesn't sound too bad. So,
yeah, maybe I need to back up all these with a bet on my
might have
placements.
to.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is certainly a take.
Yeah.
It's not crazy, but it's definitely a little insane in the membrane, insane in the brain.
Yeah, I don't know what's crazier. You thinking the Texans are a Super Bowl contender, or nah, I take that back. It's
Well,
not.
I mean, hey, the folks at home can decide. If you haven't already, follow us on all social medias, Bolt Up, Bear Down. It's all in the link tree if you can find it. It should be on YouTube. It should be on Spotify. It should be on our Instagram or TikTok.
I
What
think
else
this
are
is
we
our
on? I think that's
shortest episode yet. Wow.
yeah. We're wrapping up early again. News has been slow this week. I mean, we could talk about
Yeah.
Terrion Arnold, but I think you and I have both agreed that'll be saved for more of other
It
content.
needs a
So
special.
it does, because there's a lot going on with that.
Oh yeah.
But Brandon, any final words to the folks before we take off?
I'm a genius. Just you guys wait.
I don't know what genius he's smoking, but he's clearly a genius at something.
Yeah.
Wow. But folks, as always, thank you for listening to Bolt Up, Bear Down. Follow us on all things social media. Bolt Up, Bear Down. Find the logo, and we will be there right there for you. Like, follow, share, subscribe on everything. We want to know some of your thoughts. Do you agree? Will the Tennessee Titans win the AFC South? Odds say no. Brandon says yes. I say, we'll see what happens. But for now, take care from both Brandon and I. We'll see you next week for AFC East with a special guest. Take care, guys.
Take care.